Welcome to the channel, and today we'll be breaking down the first single from Eminem's Kamikaze album, 4. "4" was the perfect first single to release from the album in my opinion, because of the range of topics it covered and Eminem's more laid-back flow and delivery, to make sure critics get the message straight. Everyone Eminem dissed on this song also had it coming, and it's strange to see many clueless hip-hop fans wonder why Eminem dissed these rappers and critics on this song. Today we'll be breaking down the meanings behind the lyrics and also dropping some facts about them. And if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. If you're a huge Eminem fan, I can assure you that you will find our content to be quite useful to learn to appreciate the genius of Eminem. Eminem starts off by talking about all the negativity that's been geared towards him in the past few months, and based on the rate at which media journalists carried this out, it began to feel systematic, like some coup was being carried out to tarnish the legacy of who is widely considered to be the rap god. I mean, even kids that still have a long way to establish themselves in their entertainment careers felt bold enough to talk trash about Eminem, and I'll build on this later in this video. The first verse starts with,
"Gotta concentrate against the clock I race. Got no time to waste, I'm already late. I got a marathoner's pace."
Of course, Eminem had to take his time. He spent over 20 years in the game now and has been at the top for as long, so pacing himself is something he's done perfectly for the past 2 decades, similar to how you pace yourself in a marathon to conserve energy for the long run. Many hip-hop stars that came after him and made it to the top have fallen out of the race. But then again, he had to respond to critics at the time he did with Kamikaze. We're in the age where negative reviews can now put you out of business in no time because of how easily brainwashed even fans can get at this time. Bots on social media can now even influence general elections if you think this is a joke. And you keep watching videos on YouTube taking a dump on Eminem, in no time you start to believe the lies these snakes spew about him to get views. How can anyone actually believe Eminem has not been relevant in the past 10 years when all the facts say otherwise? But you'll be surprised how many people believe this. So Eminem had to act quickly on this one, race against the clock to put the fear of God in these critics. Eminem stepped on the road to drug addiction in 2002 during the filming of 8 Mile, and this addiction peaked in 2007.
Went from addict to a workaholic, word to Dr. Dre and that first marijuana tape. Guess I got a chronic case.
Eminem nearly overdosed on methadone and then decided to get clean for good, and now from an addict is now a workaholic with strong work ethics and a drive for perfection in the studio, similar to how Dr. Dre is known for these qualities. The Chronic is also Dre's debut solo studio album, and Dre's 2001, in which Eminem appeared on, was also often referred to as the Chronic 2. The way Eminem also says in the first marijuana tape in that bar could also be an actual reference to a cassette tape, signifying how long he's been at the top in the rap game. Of course, Eminem has dialed it back in recent years, and because of this, many have been eagerly waiting for the return of Dirty Mouth Slim Shady. And Eminem suggests that this time he's not gonna let Paul and Dre hold him back.
I know this time Paul and Dre, they won't tell me what not to say.
Of course, his manager Paul Rosenberg and Dre have probably been responsible for holding Eminem from unleashing the vintage Slim Shady, because Western society these days is like an ice cream cone under the sun, and although we got Shady on Kamikaze, some songs still couldn't make the cut, and one song in particular was left out of the album because Dr. Dre suggested that it went too far. Eminem talked about this in his interview with Sway, and I hope this track is leaked in the future. Who's with me? Eminem on his smash hit Not Afraid said he's done with beefs and would focus on handling his responsibilities as a father, but we all know he went against his word here.
You swear to God I forgot him, the God it made Not Afraid.
And rightfully so. Kamikaze was an essential album. The Crickets got bold enough to come out in the sunlight, so Eminem had to go back on his word here, bring the drama back and reinstill the fear of God in the hearts and minds of these crickets. The next bar is a shot at a camo-skinned snake at the Breakfast Club, who has been trying to get Eminem's attention for years now by disrespecting him on the radio show. And this was the last time Eminem mentioned the camo-skin host on the Kamikaze album. These clowns think they're dictators of hip-hop culture, but getting a mention on Kamikaze is as big as it gets for him. The next bars are some of my favorite on the song.
These rappers are like Hunger Games. 1 minute they're mocking Jay, next minute they get their style from Migos, so they copy Drake.
Eminem compares the new generation rappers to the Hunger Games where 24 contestants fight to the death until one remains. Mockingjay is also a slick play on several things. For one, Mockingjay is the final installment of the Hunger Games trilogy. A mockingjay is also a bird that imitates sound, implying that these rappers love to copy established hip-hop stars like Jay-Z, Drake, and Migos. Mockingjay could also mean to tease or laugh at Jay-Z in a scornful or contemptuous manner. And remember, many rappers ridiculed Jay-Z when Jay-Z criticized the money phone on The Story of O.J. In addition, notice how Ho Baldwin also had a beef with two artists mentioned in these bars, Drake and Migos, so what this prepared for him was right around the corner. Eminem ends the verse by stating that he's run out of patience and calls the hate Walk on Watergate, which is a reference to the Watergate scandal that resulted in President Nixon's resignation. Eminem believes the hate on Revival was blown out of proportion, which is certainly the case in the United States, as the success of the album shows discrepancies between the United States and the rest of the world. Check out our video on this at the link that pops up at the top right corner now. The second verse starts out with this.
Somebody tell Button before I snap, he better fasten it, or have his body back and zip. The closest thing he's had to hits a smacking bitches.
Baldwin should have seen this comment since he took part in the Walk on Watergate and took a front seat on the Revival hate train. Baldwin even criticized the tracklist of the album before it released, and here Eminem implies that he should shut his mouth if he doesn't want to end up in a body bag. It is common for victims of violent crimes to end up in a body bag, and Eminem's wordplay here is all relating to clothing. For one, Baldwin is pronounced like button, and the bars also includes words like zip, snap, and fasten. So Baldwin can easily get unclothed, exposed, and bodied if he doesn't shut it. While Baldwin is talking about Walk on Water not being a hit, the last time he's been on the news for having a hit was for something unrelated to his music career. Yes, his last hits that made it to the news were the alleged hits he gave his ex-girlfriend, and I tried looking up Pump It Up on the RIAA's website, and this is all I got. I even typed in Joe Budden, and the website suggested I'll have better luck finding results if I typed in Ho Baldwin. Of course, I typed that in too, but no luck. In the next bars, this is all I have to say about who Eminem dissed. An academic, going by the dictionary definition, is a teacher or scholar in a university or other institute of higher education. I'll save you the trouble of finding out if the guy dissed is knowledgeable about hip-hop, and even most of his fans will agree that he sits on his brain most of the time.
Have you twisted like you had it when you thought you had me slipping at the telly? Even when I'm getting brain, you'll never catch me with a thought.
This guy also claimed Eminem was caught with a thought when a video surfaced of Eminem with a woman in a hotel room. But this was all for the music video River that featured Ed Sheeran. Of course, like most media journalists, he had it twisted, and Eminem plays on this by stating that you won't catch him with a thought, even if he's getting brain. This is clever because thought and thought are homophones, and getting brain pretty much means receiving oral sex. For those who think Eminem just plays around with words that rhyme for the sake of it, it's time to pay attention, and sorry you got easily played by media journalists once again. In the next bars, Eminem says,
Dre said hold your head up. Kathy Griffin stacking ammunition, slap the clip and cock it back on competition. This is how I shot ahead. Gabby Gifford.
Kathy Griffin held up a fake decapitated bloody head of Trump in a photo, and this even got her fired. And it's also worth noting that she previously worked with Eminem and played the receptionist in the Real Slim Shady music video. Her picture with the bloody head of Trump sparked controversy, and Eminem plays on this that this was how he shot a head, and we all know controversial lyrics contributed to Eminem's worldwide fame. Gabby Gifford's mentioned at the end of that bar also fits well with Eminem's play on Shot Ahead, since Gifford's, an Arizona politician and gun control advocate, was actually shot in the head in 2011. Tyler, the Creator, was a big fan of Eminem and even considers Relapse to be one of the greatest albums for him. But more recent tweets from him before Kamikaze released where this is aimed at Eminem's more recent projects.
Tyler, create nothing, I see why you called yourself a bitch. It's not just cause you lack attention, it's because you worship the 12 balls, you're sacrilegious.
Tyler, for instance, tweeted that Shady 15 was trash and laughed about it. He also tweeted that Walk on Water was horrible, and Eminem believed tweets like this were uncalled for, and Eminem plays on the word sacrilege to define what Tyler was doing. Tyler was someone who you could describe as a dick rider of D12, and to commit sacrilege is to violate what is regarded as sacred. In this case, Tyler is taking shots at someone he worships, hence committing sacrilege. Eminem also pronounces this as sacrilegious to make it sound more literal. The line about "it's not just cause you lack attention" could also be Eminem hinting that Tyler came out as gay to gain more media attention, which was certainly an advantage for him. I mean, he went from being accused of homophobia earlier in his career to now an industry sweetheart that the media is trying to protect. Eminem also plays on the creator bit of Tyler's name, which also has multiple meanings. For one, an artist like Tyler shouldn't be comfortable criticizing a legendary artist when he's not had a fraction of the impact and success Eminem has enjoyed over the years. In addition, creator here could also mean that since he's a gay man, he's probably not going to procreate with a woman. Eminem also adds this.
Get all the hood is wetter, whatever his name is to help you put together some words, more than just 2 letters.
Odd Future is a hip-hop collective group, and Earl Sweatshirt and Tyler are members of this group. Earl is widely considered to be the best lyricist in the group, so Eminem is suggesting to Tyler that if he wants to come at him, he should get help from Earl to help him put together more words than just 2 letters. 2 letters in this bar is in reference to the acronym of the Odd Future group name OF. Eminem also mispronounces Earl's name purposely to state just how insignificant the best lyricist of their group is compared to him. Of course, everyone Eminem dissed here deserved it because Earl in a 2015 interview dissed Eminem and also dissed Eminem's entire fan base by stating that if you still listen to Eminem, you drink way too much Mountain Dew and probably need to come home from the army. And Eminem ends the verse by hinting at the Forever song feature that he dominated in 2009. Eminem starts the 3rd verse by reminding these new kids on the block that he's been at the top of the game for decades now, decades in which we have seen many rappers rise and fall off the grid, and Eminem even takes shots at the Grammys, and going by how the Grammys ignored the Kamikaze album, it's safe to say they got the message. Eminem suggests that the Grammys use megastars to promote the show and give the most coveted Album of the Year award to people with very little impact in the music industry to promote them to a mainstream level. Eminem also touches on ghostwriters.
All I know is I wrote every single word of everything I ever murdered. Time to separate the sheep from goats. And I got no faith in your writers, I don't believe in ghosts.
Using ghostwriters involves the use of someone else to write a song to be performed by the paying artist, and Eminem doesn't believe rappers who use ghostwriters deserve any praise. Drake in recent years have come under fire for allegedly using ghostwriters, and Eminem has no faith in MCs that do this. Also notice how faith in this bar hints at the Christian faith that doesn't support the belief in ghosts. Notice the bar also contains separate the sheep from goats, which is a biblical reference of separating the righteous from the damned, and based on the fact that Eminem is often referred to as the GOAT, it's time hip-hop fans also separate the trendsetters from the trend followers. Eminem continues by stating that one of his main motives in the rap game is this.
Somewhere some kid is bumping this while he lip syncs in the mirror. That's who I'm doing it for, the rest I don't really even care.
To inspire and motivate people, especially the younger folks, and Eminem has spoken about this in earlier songs like Sing for the Moment and also The Monster, and many fans will agree with this about how they feel about his music. And Eminem drops a list of great rappers who he inspired for retiree Bob Jamar, who claims that Eminem is a guest in hip-hop. The bars about Elvis in this.
I saw you and Elvis clone, walk up in this house you own, cross my pelvic bone, use your telephone, then go fetch me the remote, put my feet up and just make myself at home, I belong here, clown.
Was a reference to Elvis' signature dance moves that involved thrusting the hips, and Elvis was accused of stealing bits of black music and black culture, which he used to popularize his music. Eminem has also been accused of doing the same thing, and many ignore the fact that he's had a huge influence on the new generation of great rappers, going as far back as 50 Cent that took the rap game by storm with his debut studio album. And in the end, most of his critics haven't even made substantial impacts in their careers or chosen field, but are quick to speak ill about Eminem and his influence on the genre. If you enjoy the content of this channel, consider donating to our PayPal at the link in the description of this video. Also remember to check out the playlist that pops up at the top right corner now for more Eminem breakdowns and lyrics explanations. Thanks for watching, remember to subscribe if you haven't, and leave your thoughts in the comment section below.